With great excitement and deep devotion, a significant event has taken place, the ceremony for the third temple that so many have been eagerly waiting for. This event holds a special meaning for those who believe, symbolizing the fulfillment of hopes and prayers. As the third temple is now being officially inaugurated, it brings up important discussions. It invites us to reflect on how ancient practices and personal beliefs come together to shape our lives. And as we stand witness to this significant ceremony, we are compelled to embark on a thoughtful exploration of the end times. Praying anxiously every day, the Jews have long awaited the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy. We're talking about the prophecy of the building of the third temple. The third temple, as the name implies, will be the third sacred temple of the Israelites, where it is believed that God will descend upon and dwell with its people again. But why is it called the third temple? What about the first and second? This is where history comes into play. Indeed, the children of Israel have seen the existence of two temples before now, the first and the second. The first temple, also known as Solomon's Temple, was constructed in Jerusalem by King Solomon around 960 BCE. It was built on Mount Moriah and served as the central place of worship for the Israelites. The construction was said to have taken about 7 years to complete, and the result was an impressive and grand structure made of stone, cedar wood, and adorned with gold and precious materials. It consisted of a main sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, and an outer courtyard housing the Ark of the Covenant. It was the place where various religious rituals and sacrifices were performed. Sadly, however, in 586 BCE, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II invaded Judah and besieged Jerusalem. He eventually captured the city and destroyed Solomon's temple. The Babylonians then ransacked the temple, looted its treasures, and set it on fire. This event is known as the Babylonian captivity or Babylonian exile, during which many Jews were taken captive to Babylon. After the Babylonian exile, under the Persian ruler Cyrus the Great's decree, some Jews returned to Jerusalem and began rebuilding the temple around 538 BCE. The construction was completed in 516 BCE during the reign of King Darius I. The second temple was not as opulent as the first temple, but remained an important religious and cultural symbol for the Jewish people. It soon underwent renovations and expansions during the rule of Herod the Great. Still, in 70 CE, during the First Jewish-Roman War, the Roman army, led by General Titus, laid siege to Jerusalem. The Second Temple was then destroyed by the Romans, resulting in widespread devastation and the fall of Jerusalem for the second time. Indeed, the destruction of the First and Second Temple had left the children of Israel without a place of worship. But amazingly, the situation was not hopeless. This is because there were soon prophecies of a future wherein a glorious third temple would be built. That is not all. The building of the third temple was also said to be one that would usher in the Messiah of the Jews, which would in turn mark the end of the world. Ancient prophets like Ezekiel had prophesied toward this end. Hence, upon the fulfillment of this prophecy, the children of Israel have been found continually waiting, knowing that in the future their temple will stand again. But why are they so confident in what seems merely a prophecy? How certain are they that this prophecy will come to pass? This question seems to make so much sense until you look at the history of the Israelites. Here is the interesting part. The fulfillment of prophecy is not new to Israel's children. As a matter of fact, we can say that Israel is built on the fulfillment of prophecy. One of these prophecies includes the prediction that the Israelites would eventually occupy the land of Canaan, and we know how it ended. Artifacts like the Canaanites' tunnel are a testament to the fact that the land they now live in had once been inhabited by Canaanites. Other prophecies include Israel's captivity, which we also saw get fulfilled. Ultimately, these past experiences are surely good reasons to understand why the Israelites are confident that the third temple will eventually be built. But why is the building of the third temple so important? The third temple building is a very important aspect of the Israelites' future. As it turns out, this event holds so much significance to their political, social, spiritual, and material life. Again, as earlier said, The third temple's building might also be a major determinant of the eventual end of the world. Let us explain what all these mean. According to the prophecies in ancient scriptures, building a third temple is an apocalyptic event that must occur before the world ends. It is said that after the third temple is built, the long-awaited Messiah will return, ushering in the Messianic age, a new era wherein the world will be restored to the perfect order. Moreover, while the Christians do not share exactly the same expectations as the Jews, they also look forward to the building of the third temple because they also believe that it will be a precursor to the second coming of Jesus Christ, which is their own Messiah. But here is the interesting part. Whether it is the Messiah of the Jews or Christians, it has also been agreed upon that a great evil must be unveiled before they come. This evil will be marked by the arrival of the Antichrist. He is called the son of perdition to the Christians, and to the Muslims he is known as the Dajjal. According to the prophecy, the Antichrist must be revealed before the Messiah. It will enthrone himself as the Son of Light. From here, he would defile the third temple and deceive many who would follow him to the final battle of Armageddon, where he would wage war against the true Messiah and his holy ones. However, in a sharp twist of events, the Antichrist will be defeated in this final battle, which will usher in the Messianic age. Interesting, right? While this is surely an interesting story to hear, the period itself might be rather tense. In the end, this is the point we are driving at. The third temple must be built according to prophecy, and this leads us to talk about the third temple ceremony that has just been concluded. Let us talk about the third temple ceremony and its significance. While waiting for the third temple to be built, there are very few things the Israelites have not done. Apart from praying every day to ensure that the process is sped up, other activities are also ongoing, which may cause many to find it hard to believe that the third temple is not being secretly built somewhere. The Temple Institute, as well as the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem, are some of the many institutions that have risen up to face the modern-day challenges which the building of a third temple brings. Currently, the Temple Institute has indulged itself in responsibilities such as preparing the third temple vessels as well as training priests that would serve in it when it is built. In this vein, Chaim Richman, the director of the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, says about the third temple that a temple in waiting has essentially already been created. The Temple Institute is undoubtedly on a mission to bring back the Holy Temple in all its glory, and they're not just sitting around. Instead, they're actively researching and preparing for its grand return. As part of their steps towards achieving their goals, they are getting ready with operational blueprints for the third temple, which are current with modern standards. They've also crafted over 60 sacred temple vessels essential for worship in the rebuilt temple. This is alongside the high priest's breastplate, which boasts the 12 precious stones representing the tribes of Israel. The musical instruments of the Levitical choir are also all set alongside the priestly garments. These garments will be worn by a new generation of Levitical priests, known as Kohanim, who are currently undergoing training. By the way, being a Kohen is an exclusive status, passed down only to Aaron and his descendants, who were from the tribe of Levi. The Temple Institute is also actively working on breeding a red heifer, a crucial element needed for purifying the temple's altar. Finding a ritually pure red heifer has proven to be the most difficult part of preparing the Temple Institute for the third temple. According to the standard, the red heifer must be without blemish and have no variation in its hair color. Following this, previous attempts with red heifers were disqualified for not meeting these criteria. Hence, to ensure they have a red heifer that fulfills the requirements, the Temple Institute has launched a special breeding program using frozen red Angus embryos implanted into domestic Israeli cattle. They are currently running a crowdfunding campaign to support this effort and have already raised approximately $31,000. In addition to this, the Temple Institute is also taking steps to reenact temple ceremonies that will be performed once the third temple is constructed. A good example of this is the 2015 Passover, PESACH. During the event, the Kohanim in training accurately reenacted the Korban Pesach Passover offering, making it the first time in 2,000 years this offering was witnessed. The video of this reenactment showing the Kohanim dressed in white uniforms and using sacred vessels went viral on social media, and we can understand why. The meticulous preparation of uniforms, vessels, and reenactment resulted from decades of research. In the serene Samarian hills near Shiloh, the Kohanim inspected a lamb. They passed its blood from one Kohen to another using silver vessels called muzak. This event brought immense joy to Jews worldwide. It served as an encouraging sign that the construction of the Third Temple might soon become a reality. What are the forces contending against the building of the Third Temple? Now, it has been established that the Israelites, alongside committed organizations like the Third Temple Institute, are working so hard and putting in so much effort to see that the Third Temple is built. But this does not mean that there are no obstacles standing in the way of this temple being built. The obstacles currently the Third Temple's building are not small but rather huge. We will explain why we say this. First, it is paramount that you must know that the Temple Mount is currently not under the control of the Jews, but is rather under the control of the Islamic WAQF, which is a religious trust managed by Jordan and Palestinian authorities. After the Arab-Israeli War, the Jordanian WAQF gained control over the Temple Mount in 1948. Jordan captured East Jerusalem from the newly formed State of Israel. Following this, the Jordanian WAQF, a religious body that manages Muslim holy sites in Jerusalem, took control of the Temple Mount. This change in authority has not been favorable to the Jews. This is mostly because the Temple Mount has always been sacred for both Muslims. As a matter of fact, the site has long been believed to be one where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. Because of this, the Muslims have not failed to make good use of the newfound control over the Temple Mount. The Mount is now a site of some of the most sacred places in Islam. This includes the Dome of the Rock. This is the most famous Muslim site on the Temple Mount. It is a gold-domed shrine built in the 7th century, as the Muslims believe that the exact spot where the Dome of the Rock was built is where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. There is also the Al-Aqsa Mosque beside the Dome of the Rock. This is the second most famous Muslim site on the Temple Mount. It is a large mosque built in the 8th century and the third holiest site in Islam after the Kaaba in Mecca and the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. Though a good thing for the Muslims here is what really makes the presence of the Muslim holy sites bad. It is a major hindrance to the building of the Third Temple on Mount. In simpler terms, any attempt of the Jews to build the Third Temple would mean that the Dome of the Rock would need to be demolished, and this is no small quest, as it might even lead to war. In the end, amidst all the challenges that the building of the Third Temple brings, we can rest assured that the coming days may unfold exciting events before us as we watch to see prophecies find ways to be fulfilled as in the past. Who knows? Subscribe to Beyond Discovery and see you in the next episode.